Hello, powerful creators. In my last video, we talked about how tapping into the power of presence really transforms our relationship with success. It allows us to create success even more quickly with more ease than we might have been used to in the past. Today, I want to tell you how tapping into the power of presence allows you to see how reality is very much malleable and fluid. It's one of the principles I teach. I teach 7 principles for manifesting with success. And the central principle to all of them is tapping into the power of presence. Now, another principle is the malleability of reality. Often people don't understand or don't know how to relate to that. And the way I have understood and experienced and continue to learn to shift my reality is again by tapping into the power of presence. So if you've missed my explanation of what is tapping into the power of presence, make sure you check the other 2 videos I created about it. It's going to be linked in the description below and you can just access them very easily. So today we're talking about the power of presence as it relates to shifting our reality, understanding that it's malleable. By the end of this video, you're going to learn how to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. If you're like me, you probably grow up with thinking that reality is very much fixed. It's hard for us to understand that we can influence, affect our reality and shift it to much more of what we desire. Here is an experience that actually helped me understand the power of presence and how we can shift our reality even more. So last year we visited Florida, my husband and I was learning how to swim still at the time. We went to the ocean, we went to the beach, and I ventured into the ocean in a way that I could still touch the ground and walk in the water. Every time I turned to look at the horizon where the sky and the ocean sort of meet, I felt this invitation to go all in, to trust the vastness of life. And then I noticed something interesting. Every time I turned away from it to look at the shore, there was this desire to stay in the comfort, the safety, and not go all in and try to venture out there as often as possible. And these are kind of symbolic things that I'm talking to you about. Now, I want to talk about that invitation I felt and the desire within me to go all in, to go into that uncertain, vast invitation, that quote unquote unknown. We approach that in our lives as something to either be afraid of, resist, fear in many ways. And I believe we think of it as unknown, uncertain, fearful, probably because we don't understand that just like reality itself, we have the power to influence it. We have the power to give it meaning, to define it, to create something out of that. And what's fascinating is when we look at the shore, we look at the comfort, the safety, staying in what we've always known. Even if it's not something we enjoy, it's easy to stay there because at least we know we can predict this, even if it's not fun. I remember many years ago, before I knew about my power to affect my reality and change my circumstances on my behalf, I was facing a repeated pattern when it comes to love. That year, I remember thinking something was going to shift on my behalf. I was going to be with the specific love I wanted to be with at the time. What ended up happening towards the end of that year was that it was very clear that person was choosing someone else. And I felt devastated, disappointed. Well, here you go. I hoped again, and it didn't happen. Even though I was repeating unwanted patterns back then, there was something that was trying to tell me, hey, you have the power to shift your reality. But I did not know then. I didn't understand. And that was my dreams. My dreams back then, I thought they were more like escapes for the longest time, because I usually will have dreams that felt so good, that were showing me things, that were giving me hope. And I usually woke up from them and felt like, okay, I'm hoping again, but then I will recreate the same unwanted circumstance. For instance, that year that I was telling you that I felt disappointed once again after hoping, I remember going to bed that night and having one of the most vivid and powerful dreams. I was by the ocean again. There's a theme of ocean and water quite a bit in my dreams. It shows the symbolism of subconscious healing and a lot of other things. I was by the ocean again that night. And I remember laying on the sand and letting the waves of water wash over me and heal my body. And it felt like every time it came and then went, it was me surrendering and letting go of the pain and the fears and everything and getting back into trust and hope again. When I woke up the following morning, it was the new year and I felt so good. And of course, it didn't last because throughout the day, I will feel like, okay, should I still wait for the other shoe to drop? Can I still hope? Anyways, it was a mess. But keep this in mind. These were such powerful reminders to me that my reality didn't have to stay what it was, but I just had no idea. Here's another dream that was so powerful to me. Whenever I remember it right now and I tell it, I can still feel, taste, smell, see everything the way I saw it in that dream. So at the time, I was having issues with my visa, even more so than usual. Then I was like, is it going to ever be changed? I have been praying and hoping, God, what are you doing? And I had this dream that night. I was by the water. This time it wasn't the ocean. This time it was like a river flowing. And it was one of the clearest. The sun was coming over it. It was so clear, so bright, so pure. I was there with a bunch of friends that I couldn't even remember who they were. I could feel they were like real friends in my life too. But we were playing in the water and we were looking at the water, and it was so joyful. The plants were so green. It was one of the most invigorating, life-giving dreams I've ever had. I remember waking up from it and feeling like this joy, this trust back again that things were gonna work out for my visa. But then I think I had that dream. It probably took about 4 to 5 years later before the visa situation shifted. I wish I knew about what I know now, what I have used to transform my life, what I teach my clients to use to design their reality, shift their reality. I wish I knew all of that back then, because it would not have had a 5-year delay for some of the things I desire to come into my experience. The problem back then was that, coming from a Christian background as well, I thought all I needed to do was wait. That waiting game. But the problem was the energy I was entertaining while quote unquote waiting on God was not allowing anyone, let alone God, to give me the things I wanted. The things I wanted were already ready for me. One of the things I realize now when I look back is that those dreams were like glimpses. They were glimpses into powerful possibilities and potentialities for me. And I had no idea how to bridge the gap between my quote unquote awakened life reality and the dreams that I was having, whether they were at night or even the hopes and desires I had for the things I wanted to experience. There was this gap. And this gap, I've noticed, exists a lot in people. Whether you have a religious background or even if you are into manifestation and you love listening to all of these things, but then you feel like year after year you're not creating what you want, it's because you don't know how to bridge the gap between the dreams at night, the desires, and actually tangibly experience and create the reality you want. And mind you, even though I've experienced all of these things and have manifested some pretty amazing things, I also sometimes forget that. And the way I get back into understanding that my reality is fluid, I can shift things, is by tapping back into the power of presence. That's what I've been embodying the past couple of weeks. And it's been mind-blowing. It's been transforming me so much. It's been bringing me so much deeper into understanding and creation mode. And I'm already experiencing some amazing manifestation that I was waiting all year for. And I'm like, what is this, Amado? How have you forgotten this? It's making things so much more easier for me. The other day it came to me and I was like, tapping into the power of presence, for instance, and understanding all the other 6 principles that I teach when it comes to manifesting with success, is it has to do with the ability to hold yes and. You know how I was talking about we resist reality, we fight reality, we're afraid of reality, more so than we understand reality is fluid and malleable and it can shift on our behalf. There is this magical space of experiencing viscerally in your body that yes and. Yes, what I desire isn't here yet, but I'm not going to let that reality define it for me. And I'm going to trust, I'm going to take action, I'm going to look forward, I'm going to hold the energy that what I desire is also here and now. It's like that thing I often say when I teach about manifestation with my clients, which is that capacity we all have technically to hold the 2 realities that seems opposite, to hold them as, yes, these 2 can simultaneously occur. And I can shift my awareness onto the one I desire, retrain my own awareness, my energy to attract that more than the old reality we don't desire anymore. And it's not in the fighting of it. It's not in the pushing it away. It's not in the forcing this to happen. It's in the shifting of the gaze from this place of powerful presence within us. And that's how we shift to reality. I wrote this and I really want to read it so that I do not mess it up. I think the way I wrote it, it's perfect. When we're present, we can acknowledge what really is. We can see it, we can feel it, we can sense its energy at the core. It emerges naturally through our own unique signature. It's like presence creates this space where both what is and what could be can exist together. And our authentic energy becomes the bridge between them. Remember how I was talking about the glimpses we get, the possibility, the potentiality? And then we get to create the bridge between them, between our awakened reality of the old reality and the desire we want. We are the bridge. We cannot try to manifest something without understanding who we are at the core, without bringing us, the version of us with the things we desire, without bringing that to that space. I've obviously been very much excited and I have had so much energy in creating this video. And I want you to think about something specific in your life that you have felt like has been fixed for so long and you've been wanting it to change. It hasn't been changing. Try tapping into the power of presence and see what comes up, how you are guided from within to see it, to feel about it, to know about it, and to take inspired action about it, and to watch what resources will come to you because you are tapping into the power of presence. You see, presence, it's not just about feeling better or even being more effective. It's like a gateway between the glimpses you have and the tangible and concrete experiencing of your desires. It's almost like a bridge between the supernatural and the practical, between what seems fixed and what is possible. I'm going to continue talking more about this topic. The video after this one is going to be a really fun one, but we're going to go even deeper into this that I've been sharing with you. So if you have any questions, you want me to address something, make sure you leave the questions in the comments below. I'm creating a masterclass experience for you as well, where we're going to talk how to design your success. This masterclass is designed to help you embody this principle that I'm talking about, the power of presence, and how to integrate it step by step for you to achieve the success you want in the area of your life that you desire. So if this is something you are like, Amado, tell me more, look at the description below. There will be more about it. Let me know what spoke to you very powerfully today. Thank you so much for being with me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again.